welcome to another I Got My Miracle Facebook Live. We are here in Costa Rica at Rythmia Life Advancement Center, and I'm here today with beautiful Pauline.
Yes. Hi. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, Pauline was so sweet today to say, yes, I am willing. Yes, I am open to share what's been going on. So now the fun thing about Pauline today is that she's been here 2 weeks. This has been her second week. And I don't think I don't usually do this Facebook Lives, but when I used to do it, I don't think I ever interview anybody that has been for 2 weeks. So let me get go to the beginning. How did you find out about Rhythmia?
I found out about rythmia about a year ago when I was listening to this podcast called Ancient Wisdom Today with Shaman Durek. And he had a beautiful interview with the owner, Jerry Powell. And it really spoke to me. And I knew in my heart that at some point I was going to get myself to rythmia. And it took a year, but here I am.
Here you are. And so you said, okay, I know I'm going to go there. And now my next question is, how come you decided 2 weeks versus 1 week?
Well, initially, I'd only planned to be here 1 week, but then I was a little on the fence to rebook. So I asked my soul, okay, should we extend our stay?
Oh, wow.
And my soul was like, those stem cells sound pretty interesting because I'd missed a class earlier in the week. And so I went to Nova Cell on campus and I spoke with Alana and she gave me the rundown and something about seeing like the scientific background and the images behind the whole stem cell therapy that's offered here really resonated with my soul. And I said, should we do this? She said, yeah, let's do it. And I did it. And it's like I feel like super Pauline, like completely rejuvenated. All my energy's back. I have more energy throughout the day. And then I asked my soul again, should we extend our stay? And she said, without a shadow of a doubt. And so I did it. And I'm so glad I did because I got a lot of really powerful downloads that I'm going to take with me once I go back out into the world.
Yes, that's so exciting. And so tell us a little bit about your first week upon arrival. How were you feeling? Were you feeling courageous, like I got this, I'm ready to do this? Or there were moments where you were like, oh, I hope this goes okay for me? Like, what's your feeling tone of the first week?
Well, a little bit of all of that. Granted, I had been practicing mindfulness before, so meditation, yoga. I'd already decked out with crystals, and this was like I wanted to go deeper because I feel like ayahuasca can get you there in a more complete way than you. I mean, of course, you can get the same insights, but I was wanting a depth and clarity, and so I was very excited and I was really impressed with how organized everything was. Like when I got off the plane and, went through customs and everything, and I was like, I'm looking for Rhythmia. And there's a guy with the logo. He's like, hi. And he like looked at my name. It was so easy. And then I went and I was hanging out with the other people waiting for the shuttle. And they'd been here, like there's one woman who'd been here 6 times. And I was like, whoa. Okay, so something right is going on here. And it just brought a lot of ease. And so I was like even more like excited about stepping in.
Oh, that's good. And so is this your first time drinking medicine?
Yes, very first time.
Okay. And so in those first ceremonies, what would you say of the first week, and then we'll move into the second week, what was like the most profound thing for you?
Oh, the most profound thing. Well, the whole ceremony process is so beautiful. Like just to see people really go above and beyond to make it feel so special. I mean, from the smells, the lighting, the shamans, and how they're dressed, it made me feel like important, like I'm supposed to be here and this is needed and it's for me. And so it's easy to just really slip into that space of relaxation and let the medicine touch you. And I had my miracle the first night.
Wow.
And it was very
so
powerful.
Nice. Yeah. What a blessing. Yeah. Do you want to go into what that miracle was?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. I'd like to. So when I first took the medicine, I can tell we were coming online when it was like a light show and a kaleidoscope of sacred geometry. And she was like, "Hi, Pauline. Welcome. So glad to see you. Just sit back and relax. I've got a performance for you." And then it was like she was putting on a little show for me. I was like, yes, I was so happy. And she was warming me up to helping me remember something that I'd been forgetting, which was when I was a child, when I was 6, I had been touched inappropriately by a family member. And this family member had touched other family members. And it occurred to me that this person did this because they were touched inappropriately. And I realized my entire lineage, my whole ancestry has a history of this. And the reason for that was we were ashamed to feel ourselves, to feel our feelings. And so we would go externally, touch someone else to satiate that longing, that need, that desire. But all it did was perpetuate the trauma. And lucky for me that I get to be the one to stop it. And she told me all I had to do was feel myself, touch myself. And I mean that as gracefully as I can, in every sense of the word. It's like that intimacy you have with yourself first. And you don't, once you're able to do that unashamed, you won't feel the need to go outside of yourself. And then we can stop hurting each other and the family. And then when I saw the people who had done these things to me as a child, at first I was like, how could they? I was so innocent. And I realized that, they were hurt people. You've heard that before. But then she said, well, Pauline, look how you chose to come into this world. I mean, look what body you chose. So I'm like, okay, I guess I can't really blame him.
And it's perfection. It's perfection. And it's, children are so innocent and they are, very vulnerable.
Right.
And the most beautiful thing, I love that. Maybe people have heard and maybe they haven't, but hurt people. She just said it. And I like to say in class that
healed people heal people.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you said it stops with me.
It stops with me.
Thank you for sharing that. So that was Monday last week.
Yes.
And then now tell us a little bit about the second week, or I don't know about the second, third, fourth, because by now you've done 8 ceremonies.
That's correct.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems like a lot.
Courageous soul. The live warrior, literally.
It only got better from there. It's like there's always healing to do. And I don't mean that in a way like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be healed again. But no, it's like I became a new person after that first night. And she was showing me other things to bring to the surface. And she took her time. It was gently so I wouldn't freak out. But this week, the difference was, well, it got extraterrestrial this Monday night, because there's this thing called the 9 for people who return, and one of the 9 awarenesses or gifts, I guess you could say, that you can get from the medicine is rewriting or reprogramming your DNA. And that sounded appealing to me because I have a technical background, and the idea of upgrading my DNA to be this new evolution of humankind, stepping into this ultra love, new age, crystal world. I said, that's definitely what I want to do. And so I said, Dear Mama Ayahuasca, would you please help me reprogram my DNA with the assistance of aliens or extraterrestrials, because, their technology is more advanced than ours. So I was like, I want the best of the best. I mean, who wouldn't? And that's what happened. And I was in surgery for 2 days, and I was Tuesday, I was coming out of it and I was like walking like this. I was just like, I felt so broken. I'm like, what did I do? And then somebody said, do you have surgery? I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. You're just recovering.
How blessed again. And it just sounds so beautiful how this is my perception, and it's only one perception of the 1,000 perceptions. I think the medicine works with us with our consciousness.
Right.
And so, and I love your experiences because they're so beautiful. It's the way that you're saying it is like, like mother, and you had this conversation, this dialogue with her, and she will take you to places. Was there any point that you were like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this, or the whole process was like, yeah, I can do this, I know how to navigate it?
Oh man, the moment you started asking that question, I'm like reminded of my last night. And every night's different, and it's different for every person. My last night was the roughest night, because yes, there was visuals, but it felt like a real, almost like a nightmare. Like I felt like she was kind of trying to pull me out of my mattress, drag me on the floor, and throw me out of the maloka into the fire. I was like, why is this happening? And I kept trying. There's other people trying to eat my limbs, and I said, hey, I love you. Trying to shine the light, because I hear that helps.
Yes.
Just not having fear, just being love-based, and that kind of deters anything negative. But I kept falling back into that little dream, and then
the dream.
Yeah, it was like a
fear.
dream. Yes, and so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ask for help. And I went to Talia. She's one of the helpers here in the Maloka, and I told her, hey, this dream I'm having. I'm not sure what this is about. Can you help me, please? And she said, well, how does that make you feel? And I said, oh, the question. Yes. It makes me feel like I don't belong. She's like, yes. And do you feel this way in your life? And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I do feel like I don't belong. And then I thought about when I felt this way when I was a child, and it was like really young, when I wanted to, play Mario Kart with like the boy cousins, and they wouldn't share the controller, or they'd push me out of their room. So that's like the first instance. And, as an adult looking back, I can forgive that moment. Kids, they're just being kids. And then I came to the realization that I do belong here. I am a human, and we together as a collective consciousness are awakening to how powerful and loving we are.
Yes.
And at the moment I realized that, and I went back to my mattress, I thanked Talia. Went back to my mattress, said, thank you, Mama, for showing me this. I mean, it was a little aggressive, but it could have been worse. Thank you for showing me this. I love you. And I went back to sleep, and then it shifted tones. Beautiful. After that. Yeah.
You're so courageous, and the wisdom that you've been sharing is so beautiful. And I just want to acknowledge your courage, because it's a navigation of our own stuff, our inner world. And when you were saying that world, to get intimate with the self, I told you before, I love that when we take that word and we split it into me see, intimacy, into me I see. That's true intimacy, when I just go even sometimes at the depths of our shadows. And then so beautifully you ask for help. So important for those of you that right now are watching and you may going through something. Asking for help is so important. And when you come here, when you come and visit us, also there's so many helpers here.
Yes.
Aren't they amazing?
It's amazing. I think there might be a more help to guest ratio here, because every corner, every turn, there's somebody to help you. And I'm one of those people who didn't like to ask for help. Like I could figure it out, or, I've got 2 arms. I could just, carry everything. But especially when my back was hurting and I had a really hard time walking, it was like, it's okay. You can call for the soul train, which is like a golf cart, but I mean, it does carry around souls, so that's accurate. To take me to class or to take me to the Maloka, and that was okay. There shame in it, and thank goodness that there was somebody able to help me.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I'm so glad that you know how to receive that help.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the healing a lot of people go through here is because we are so used to, I'm going to do it on my own, like you just said. And that comes sometimes from a wounded space of ourselves that we think, that we can't count on anybody. But here at Rythmia, there's that beautiful lesson vibrating everywhere. Do you need help? We're here for you. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's also a safe space to go very deep.
Yes, very safe. I've like when you start hearing people talk about their stories, some of these things are really out there. I mean, she talks to us where we're at in our consciousness, and it's like people are able to share unashamed. It's like, I mean, where else can you get crazy people to come together and get more crazy but feel safe? And I'm using crazy loosely here. Yeah, no, thank you, Jerry. Like, seriously, this is amazing. It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying yes to this interview.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Is there anything else that you would like to share for those that are watching right now and they're thinking whether to return or or come here for the first time and embark this journey with medicine?
I'd like to say that you're infinitely abundant, and there's this illusion going around that you're not, that you might be in lack, and you're perfect as you are. You can come as you are. And if anything that's holding you back, just know it's an illusion. It's mind games, mind trickery. Because I guarantee you come here, you give yourself to relax. Like, you don't have to worry about your laundry. Okay. You don't have to worry about the dishes. And you're actually able to give yourself the attention that your soul has been asking, yearning for. And it is so important to listen and look at yourself and heal yourself, because the moment you do, everybody else gets better. It's like contagious. Yes, heal people. And self-care is world care. The best thing you can do for the world is take real good care of yourself. Treat yourself like the kings and queens that you are.
Well said, sister. Self-care is world care. I think we are complete with that beautiful, those beautiful things that you just said. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And thank you all of you for watching, and we will see you next Saturday. Have a great weekend. Goodbye, everyone.
See you.